Hello, everybody. Sorry, just a minute. Let me do that. There we go. Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Rhonda, how are you, honey?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I am at a different location. If you guys can't tell, that's not my green screen. I am babysitting little Katie. Katie, want to say hi? Come here and say hi. Say hi, Katie.
Oh
Hello.
my goodness. Hi, Katie. You're so cute.
Okay, yep. I'm on my babysitting day and I'm using their computer. So cross our fingers. Yes, I am. Wednesdays and Thursdays. Katie loves it. She gets spoiled rotten. And fingers crossed, everything goes smoothly. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us in our little journey here we're going to take with Daniel. Um, Rhonda and I decided that it's really a very, very wrongful conviction, would you say? I mean, it's wrong all the way around, don't you think, Rhonda?
Yep. Yep.
It's
Absolutely.
it's bad. It's really bad. And I took a look at this last year, and nobody really was grabbing on it, and I didn't want to dig into it on my own. So when I found out that nothing but a stump was into it like I was, it was a good match. And she's decided, which I am so behind it, to start from the very beginning and introduce you to Daniel. So let's take a little trip and let me share my screen and we'll take a little trip and you will take it from here, correct?
I'll do my best.
Okay. There we go. Let's do this. Share. Let me get to the full screen. We are? Okay. Okay, sweetie, you go right ahead.
All right. Well, like I said, I heard about Daniel's
Oh,
case. I don't know.
where are you up there?
Uh,
Something went wrong.
with me.
Something went wrong here for me. Okay, there we go. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Apologize.
Um, I became interested in the case, kind of through Michelle Malkin. I've been following Michelle Malkin on Twitter for quite a while, and I want to say that it was Jack 61. I'm not really. I feel really bad because I don't recall exactly who it was who was telling me more about it, but told me you need to watch Michelle Malkin's Daniel the Den. So I did, and wow, I was blown away by what I saw, and I had to know more. The thing of it was, I didn't want to know more from where we are now. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know where the case is now and what was going on now. I wanted to know. Well, he started out as somebody else. He wasn't just a police officer convicted or wrongly convicted of all these rapes and assaults. So who was he? And so I thought, I wanted to know, just like with Stephen and Brendan's case, I jumped in on that when not until after the both of the mams had shown, when I really started looking into it. And so much I just didn't know, like from the very beginning. I just didn't know anything from the beginning, and it's kind of hard, however many years we're into their cases, to go back to the beginning and learn everything. And so I thought, I Daniel's case is important enough to me that I wanted to know from as much from the beginning as I possibly could. And I just thought maybe there's other people out there the same way, who feel the same way. So I talked to Linda about it, and we talked about it a little bit more. Eric Jose had shown something on one of his lives a few weeks ago, and I thought, I gotta dig, I gotta do more. Well, when I started digging, I found out I didn't really have to dig very far, because there's already so much research done on the case already, that now the only thing I really have to do is just share what's already out there. So I wanted to kind of start by introducing everybody to Daniel. So who is Daniel Holtzclaw? Daniel was born in Guam. He came from a service family, and he was born on December 10th, 1986, and his parents are Eric and Kumiko Holtzclaw. And as I said, they're a military family, and they were serving overseas at the time. And Daniel has two older sisters, Jenny and Julie. Jenny is has her own website that she kind of started, and she really, I wouldn't say the family spokesman, but we hear a lot from Jenny, and so I really want to try to do justice to Daniel for his family.
Yes.
Daniel, once they were in the States, he attended the Enid Oklahoma
You're
School,
moving
and he graduated
You're
high school
scratchy.
in 2000.
There you go.
Huh?
You were
Oh, he
scratchy.
graduated. Oh, I'm scratchy. Okay. He
You're not
graduated from Enid High School. Okay. Okay. He graduated in 2005. He played ball during high school, and he was recruited by Eastern Michigan University on a football scholarship. And he graduated in 2010 from Eastern Michigan University with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Go figure. And he wanted to be. He didn't get drafted to a major league, obvious, into a major league football team or anything. And so he knew, even before he went to that journey, he knew that just in case the football thing didn't pan out, he needed a backup plan. And he had decided long ago that he would, wanted to be a police officer. And so in September of 2010, he was hired by the Oklahoma City Police Department. And he, Daniel was just your average down home kid. I mean, just like any one of our sons or grandsons or nieces or nephews or brothers. He loves his dad's steaks and he loves his mom's German chocolate cake. So those are some pretty average, normal kid things, normal things that young men enjoy. He loves to work out. Keeping in shape is very, very important to him, and it always has been. And he loves going to movies and spending time with his family whenever he can. And he's very athletic. And as I mentioned, he had gone to college on a football scholarship, but he also enjoyed baseball as a young kid. He liked playing baseball and other sports as well, I'm sure. But those were some of the things that he really enjoyed doing as a kid.
And he also comes from a family of police officers.
Yep, his father was, I don't remember the exact title, but that's what his father did in the service.
Yeah.
And he still is, and his mother also, police, part of the police department. So yes, he, it was in his blood, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell you from Daniel's words, why he chose to be a police officer. He said, "I've always thought."
Sorry, I'm having a little bit of presentation slide problem here. Okay, there we go.
No worse than me trying to figure out how to share it. Okay, why I chose to be a police officer. Daniel says, "I've always thought police work would be an interesting field to go into. Both my mother and my father were police officers, and my father had a long career with the Air Force Security Police and now a lieutenant at the Enid Police Department. I always looked up to my father and admired his role as a police officer. While playing football in college, I obtained my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I knew that I needed a backup plan just in case the NFL didn't work out, and my next passion was to be a police officer. I thought being an Oklahoma City police officer would be a challenge with numerous opportunities to specialize, as it is a very large department. I've always thought public service was very important to give back to the community. I can't see past that banner, sweetheart. The banner's in the way. There we go. I always thought that public service was very important to giving back to the community and protecting it. I've always lived ethically and tried to be a positive role model to others. I have the highest regards and respect for police officers and aspire to fill that role and make a career in this field." So now I'll be honest and tell you, I don't know exactly when that was written, when he wrote that, but it sounds to me like he wrote it before, obviously before all the nasty, it wasn't an afterthought that I got into prison and now I'm going to say these things. This is how he felt from the beginning. So I feel like those are important things to know. with Stephen and Brendan, we know where Stephen came from and where Brendan came from. And, um, without all the law crap that, came upon them, they're just normal, average people too. They just had different lifestyles. And it's the same for Daniel. There's nothing about his history as a child or a young man that would make you stop and think, ooh, I don't know, there's nothing like that. He's just your average down home
Your
kid.
boy next door. Guy next door, the guy you went to high school with, on the football team. Everybody liked him. He was good too. He had a good heart. He had dreams like everybody else. He had a beautiful girlfriend. He loved to take care of himself. Just that way, just really, really down home.
And you feel like when you read his statement about why he wanted to become a police officer, it's very genuine. He had police officers as role models in both parents, which is really, really cool. Military, not only police, law enforcement background, but also military background. And you'd never get the sense anywhere in his little life sketch that he's ever had like any angst about it or anger about it or rebellion about it. He just genuinely wanted to.
There's no signs of this guy turning into what they said.
Yeah, no legal problems in his history, or any arrests or run-ins with the law. Just a good kid.
Stalker, or no history like that with his girlfriends.
Yeah, he just respectful. He is a respectful young man, and just in trying to do the right thing and be the right person for the right community, he just really, really got screwed over, and in a really hard, fast way, and in a the word is deplorable, maybe the most deplorable way possible. And as we go through our shows, you'll learn, if you haven't already started listening to some of the podcasts by Brian Bates. Seen
over on Eric Cozy too. Yeah.
Yes, I know now. Oh, and there's Eric right there. Hey, Eric Jose.
It's terrific what he goes through.
Yeah, he just when you listen to that very first podcast, the interrogation, it's like 2 hours long or something. When you listen to the appalling way that the detectives speak to him, not like at him, but to him, the words that they use and phrases and things like that. Daniel never ever responds in the same way. He always uses respectful words and respectful mannerisms, and
very cooperative.
And so I felt like just listening, as much as I could stomach listening to his interrogation. Every time he spoke, I just thought, wow, this is an honest, decent, good, respectable man, and you guys are making him dirty, and it was sickening. So, like I said, as we go now, the goal of the show is to kind of start the timeline, and talk, and basically I'll just be referring a lot to the podcast, really. But you guys can do that. I would recommend the very first thing that you do, if you don't know anything, is to check out Brian Bates.
Links below.
Yep, and it's got all the links below. Check out his whole page, because he just goes from the very beginning, and he's very frank and he's very honest, and there's no, well, I think, or there's no, well, it could be. He's very, he has all the knowledge necessary. And that's kind of the beauty thing about the case as well, is that pretty much all of the research is already done. So we don't have to do all the hard work of the research. We just need to learn about it and, figure out,
get it out there,
talk about it, make everybody aware, and and get the case out there, and because there's plenty of dirty in there. I mean, and I know that Eric
Oh
Jose
my
said
gosh.
this on his live too, you know, talking about oh gosh, I've forgotten her name again, Taylor,
Elaine
Elaine
Taylor.
Taylor. This is just an example. Now I don't know if
Eileen.
this is a
Is it Eileen?
considered Elaine,
Eileen
I don't
Taylor.
know. She was the
It's
crime,
either
she's the
Elaine
crime
or
lab
Eileen.
analyst.
I think it's Eileen.
But she is, so just an idea of how things are kind of dirty in the case, just is that she is actually the mother-in-law of the investigator Rocky Gregory. It's probably not illegal, I don't know, but it just seems to me like if you're wanting to be as transparent as you can in a case, you just, maybe that's where you maybe recuse yourself and say, you know, my son-in-law is doing this case, he's really invested in it, he's digging deeply, and so I really can't be your main, you know. And then there's also kinds of dirty stuff with her. There's like 4,000 pages of her emails that are missing, you know, that pertain mostly, probably if not all, to his case. And where did they go after she left the department, you know? And so there's just a lot of dirty, besides, you know, Kim Davis and Rocky Gregory and, you know, some of the district attorney's office people. There's a lot of dirty in this case, just like there is in Stephen and Brendan's cases. And so yeah, sorry, I'm nervous. So that's the whole idea. We just want to, you know, talk about each and every case that was created, because every one of the cases, every one of his accusers was a creation. And
we're going to step by step go through it, you know, timeline, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And talk about all the dirty people along the way. And there are far more dirty people than there are the good ones.
There's a lot of them that should have went to jail. I mean, for the false statements. And when you find out what he was convicted with, it was just, it's heart-wrenching, dude, to listen to him being convicted. It is. Well, what was Elaine's role? She was the lab tech that tested his pants.
That had some touch DNA. Well, yeah, that's all. There's just so much wrong.
You're staticky, babe.
Huh?
You were staticky. Are you moving your?
I was. Sorry, I talk with my hands, and when I get really passionate about something, I have a hard time sitting still. Sorry. So is that better?
Yeah. You know, let me tell you, this is low budget Linda Productions. Everybody knows it. It's okay. You know, we're not trying to be the promo here. We're just trying to put out some word and get everybody familiar with Daniel's case. It's going to be a process that it's going to be long. It's going to be really heart-wrenching. We're going to take step-by-step case as he gets accused. We're going to have to look at the first day that he got questioned, which is disturbing, to say the least.
It's so
Rocky and Kim are marvelous. They're like a Fassbender and a Uyghur.
I don't know. They're more. I don't know because they're so disgusting. The way they. What I'll say about Rocky and Gregory, or Rocky and Kim, besides the fact that she's incredibly difficult to watch.
Her eyes. She does this.
You just can't watch her. And you know, it's funny because today I saw a video that was the very beginning of Daniel in the Den, before, you know, with Michelle Malkin and them walking into the studio and makeup and chit chat before. And Kim Davis's new face, she looked pretty normal, like, you know, she had a few blinks more than, you know, maybe the average person, but as the interview got deeper and you know, the questions got a little more, she was just like, she could hardly hold her eyes.
The fingerprints was the one that I really seen her face at when they were talking about, and he was going, oh, but his car was just filthy. You can't get to it.
Yeah.
Her eyes were going
so disgusting. Yeah.
They're making these weird.
But you'll notice if you if you can stomach getting through that podcast, you'll find that, in my opinion, Kim Davis and Rocky Gregory, there's got to be some sort of charge that they could have been charged with, because the way they speak, in my opinion, was a form of sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment, exactly.
Horrible.
And just the chasing down all of his accusers. I mean, they went searching for them, and they were aware of what they were searching for and who it was against. And come on, if you're these people that were in the streets getting talked to all the time, I mean, living a life that is probably not what they want, but it's something they're doing, and drug addicts and whatnot. And if you're gonna, hey, I get a chance to make some money here, I get a chance to, maybe get back at that cop,
Get some jail time knocked off, or
get some time knocked off. There's quite a few people that I think that should really be looked at and have some charges against them. I really do. But I believe like our next thing will have to be that when he gets questioned, and that is be heart-wrenching.
Yeah, that'll be rough. But if you can, if you get a chance, go and listen to Brian Bates' podcast. They're free. They're on the trial
right
in the link that Linda has in the links,
right.
And listen to that first podcast, and it's pretty much just the interrogation. You can also watch it if you want. He gives you
the video you want to share too.
Yeah. And so you can watch and listen to it all if you'd like, but
we will be
discussing. It gives you an idea of how nasty the case is going to go very, very quickly. So I don't know. Daniel, I wanted to. I asked Daniel's sister, some of his favorite things, and she told me that he has a favorite scripture that I kind of want to share, and it's Philippians 4:13. It says, "I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me." And because what choices does he have? He's got to do what he's got to do, and I think he sounds like he's, using his faith and his trust and his love in his higher power to get him through, whatever he's got to go through. I also want to say, because I think it's important, if nobody has asked, I don't have the chat open, but if nobody has asked, Kathleen Zellner did take his case, but she withdrew, I think it was October of 2019. I'm not really 100%, but she did end up withdrawing. Not because she felt like he was guilty. She believed he's, 1,000 innocence, but she's just too involved in some other
Stephen
case she's got going on.
Is what Michelle says. Yeah. So we do have that video. Would you like to play that video?
This is Linda's going to show you a video of this is Michelle Malkin's son singing this song, and it's very heart-wrenching if you would like to listen to it.
Okay, here we go. I hope you can hear it. Tell me if you can.
Me too. I can't hear it.
Can
Might
you hear
have to just get it in the link. I can't hear it.
I don't think they can either. I don't know.
It's okay. You'll just have to. It's Michelle Malkin's son wrote the song and is playing and singing it, and it's really hard to listen to and not cry, just because it's, first of all, it's just such a sad story. Secondly, he's a child, and he's has strong emotion about this case, and that's how he's expressing it and through song, and he does a beautiful job. So if you want to find it in the links down below, then you can listen to it. But Cherie, I don't know of any. I haven't seen any animosity I haven't heard anything from fellow police officers or anything either of him having any problems with anybody actually in the department. Did his job and seemed to get along.
And in fact, people have jumped on the bandwagon for him. Some ex-police officers, some from his own police station in Oklahoma have just.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I lost you. Uh-oh, she left me here all by myself. But yeah, there's nothing, at least in what I've seen and read so far, that it would indicate that Daniel has any problems with any of his co-workers or anybody in the department or anywhere. So I don't have a lot of answers yet. I'm still learning myself, but if anybody has any questions or comments, I don't even know if am I still here? Linda's gone.
I was gone. I'm here now.
What are you doing to me?
I didn't mean
to do how that. Nervous I am.
Like I said, low budget Linda Productions here for sure, because I'm not on my computer. I'm on somebody else's. I don't have a mouse. It's like, oh Lord, I'm a mess. But hey, we had to get something out because we promised. So I promise you from now on, this will not be like this. We will be so much better organized. I apologize. It's really my fault. I wasn't able to give the production the right way. I'm not able to give you the sound. I feel so bad. But there are links to everything that we are discussing in the bottom, and it will get much better. It really will. This is nothing but a Stumps. Really, it's her first getting into a case, and she's a little nervous. And me, well, I'm just a mess. So we'll get better though. We really will.
Not that it's not important to anybody else who's who does these things, but it's very important to me to make sure that I don't give you anything that isn't fact. And if I do say something that I'm not certain of, I will certainly tell you that this is but because so much of the research is already done for us, we don't really have to do a lot. No, but I do urge you guys to take 5 minutes and listen to Young Malkin's song, because it's really very sweet and tender.
And if you haven't seen it yet, go see Daniel and the Dan. It's on YouTube. I believe that's down on the link below too, isn't it? I think everything we've talked about is there. Yep. Everything you need to even dig into it yourself if you want to. But next week we'll be talking about when they talked to Daniel for the first time. And be prepared. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of questions then.
Yeah, be prepared to be disgusted, because it's it's really ugly.
It's a very sad case.
But thank you guys for coming, and I know it's been a really big day. I would be really
brief
if I didn't mention like a lot of us feel like we got today with Kathleen
motion
Zellner's reply, because it was amazing.
Amazing. See that boxing really glove? Good. I think she hung them up there, didn't she? Nothing. She hung up those boxing gloves, and she is all fists ready to fly. I loved reading it. I am still reading it. It is very impressive. And she took off the gloves and gave them hell. So good for Kathleen.
And I don't know, the visual at the end, I think I had mentioned in Discord, if you don't have the time or didn't want to read, or you can't, just don't have the patience, just go to those last few pages where she does her side-by-side comparison, I guess you could say, because she just blows the state right out of the water with her, it's amazing. So if you haven't had a chance to read that yet, you will not be sorry if you read it before bedtime.
Exactly.
It's really good.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Soon. Thank you, everybody who came to listen, and we're gonna get in there.
we'll work out the kinks. We're going to start the timeline and go case by case. And there's a lot of them. There really is. He had 32
Accuser by
charges,
accuser.
correct? Did they have 32 charges and he was
30,
18 or 36 charges?
yeah, at 13, but he was 13. And then, but here's the killer. What murderer have you guys ever heard of that has been sentenced 368 or whatever odd years to life?
263 days.
263 years
63 years, yes.
For rape and assault, and not that the charges shouldn't, I mean,
Odious
those are horrible
behavior.
charges, but 263 years, oh my God.
Yeah, as they were reading them
Murderers
out.
walked out of prison with less than that. So anyway,
we're gonna try to get him out there. He needs some help. He needs supporters, and we're ready to give him some support and tell his story in a very hopefully non-complex way, but a little bit more sophisticated than tonight was. Low budget. Linda really was in production tonight. But that's okay. Thank you so much. Nothing. We'll be talking to you on the flip side of this. And everybody that joined, thank you so much. And don't forget, tomorrow is Positively Brendan. So we will see, and Becky, we'll see you there, Becca. And I hope to see more people there too. And everybody have a wonderful night. And as I always say, be kind and keep others in mind.
Bye. Thank you.